Okay, I'm getting ready to effect some repairs on my F-86 Sabre jet. And I know I was talking about putting a 4S Lipo in it. So I started thinking about that and I thought, what if I put a 4S Lipo in it but limited the throttle range on it? So I started off, you know, about 60% throttle, ran it all the way up, and I kept running it up at different levels and checking with the load meter how many amps it was pulling. Because full throttle with the 3S, I was pulling, I think, 20. After I cut the air inlet vents in the side of the fuselage, I was only pulling about 24.3 amps on that 30 amp speed controller. So I thought, you know, before I go to the trouble of replacing the 30 amp speed controller with a 40 amp speed controller and putting a 4S Lipo in it, let's see how it operates with something between a 3S and a 4S. So I'm going to refer to this as my 3S Plus power system. So I've got a 4S Lipo in it, but my top end throttle only goes to 70%. And at 70% I was pulling, I think it was 28.8 amps, so I've got a little bit of overhead. I might bump it up to 71% on the top end. But I don't, now after doing that, I don't think that this EDF unit's going to be able to handle full throttle on a 4S system, because I can tell that the motor's spinning a heck of a lot faster on that 4S Lipo at 70% throttle than it was spinning with the 3S Lipo at 100% throttle, because there was a lot more vibration from the EDF unit. But what I wanted to do, and these 4S Lipos, they're only 1050s. I thought they were 100C, but they're 95C. They're Tattu R-Line 1050 3S Lipos, 95C. I don't know how fast it's going to use up those Lipos, because I'm pulling, I think that comes out to about 18% additional amperage that I'm pulling, spinning that motor faster. And I've got 19% less capacity, because even though it's a 3S, it's a 1050, and my 4S, it's a 1050, and my 3S Lipos were 1300, even though they were very old Lipos. But I'm adding another cell. You know, I'm increasing the number of battery cells by 30%, going from 3S Lipo to a 4S Lipo. So I don't know, you know, looking at those variables, I don't know what to expect as far as flight time on that small 4S Lipo. So I'm going to set my timer at 2 minutes. I'm gonna launch it. I think I'm going to give it about 80% throttle on this 4S. I think that might be comparable to full throttle on the 3S Lipo to get it in the air. At least I hope it is, because it's been a real pain to get in the air. So, but it should give me significantly more power on the 4S, even though the top end is limited at 70 to 71% of the top of the throttle range. Believe me, it's turning the motor a lot faster than it was on the 3S at full throttle. So I just want to get this plane in the air and see what it's like flying it with, I would say, a sufficient amount of power. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to effect some repairs. I'm going to try and get the dings fixed in the wing, leading edges of the wing. I'm going to glue up a couple of splits in the air inlet on the nose. I'm going to coat the outside and inside of the last, I don't know, 20 millimeters of the nose with glue to stiffen it up. And then I want to take it out tomorrow morning and throw it in the air with that 4S Lipo, just to experience it and see what it's like. And who knows, that might be a good way to put this in the air from now on. So I've got 3 of those. I got 3 of those 4S Lipos. I've had them for quite a while, but they've only got a handful of cycles on them, so they should operate like they're brand new. So anyway, it's definitely going to have more power now than it did with a 3S Lipo at full throttle. So anyway, I wanted to let you know what was going on. I will see you out in the field once my repairs are effected on this, and we'll see what it does.
Okay, are we ready to test out our F-86 EDF jet with a 3S Plus power system? I also glued up the cuts in the leading edges of the wings, and then covered the leading edges of the wings with some black electrical tape. I think it turned out pretty good. Now that they're nice and smooth, maybe that'll help the stability and the speed a little bit on this plane. I do not have my louvers fabricated yet. I just finished up the templates to cut those out and put those together last night. So hopefully this weekend I will have those installed so it looks better. But anyway, I've got the 4S Lipo in here. I've got my alarm set for 2 minutes. Okay, let's see if we can get this F-86 Sabre jet in the air. Launching. Oh, that was pretty iffy. Pretty iffy. I went with 80% throttle. Maybe I should have gone with more, huh? It definitely seems to be moving faster. Oh, that definitely has more power. That was my 11th consecutive successful launch, but that one was pretty iffy. Oh yeah, guys. Now that 3S Plus power system has got it going on. That's the kind of power it should have had to begin with, in my opinion. As I said, I've got my timer set for 2 minutes because I have no idea how long these batteries are going to last. But look at that power. Is that awesome? Okay. Time to bring it in. Oh, into the berm. Oh, I did glue up that nose too to stiffen it up. So let's see if I did any damage. I'm always worried whenever it runs into any scrub. A little dirt, a little sand. Leading edges of the wing look unharmed. The nose looks unharmed. Okay, now it's time to see how much juice we have left in that battery, because man, now that that is the way it should have flown from the very beginning, although it is still difficult to launch. Now I gave it about 80% power there on launch. With all the changes that I made on this with the 4S Lipo, I was not sure how much juice to give it on launch, but I think I'm going to continue to go with 100% throttle to get it in the air. That seems to work best. So, all right, let's see how much juice we still have in the Lipo. Battery is a little warm, but it's not hot. All right, let me see if you guys can see this. 3.768, 3.769, 3.77, not bad. So I put it in the air again. I'm going to set my timer for 2.5 minutes and then see where we are after that. You never know. I might be able to set my timer for a full 3 minutes like I did on the 3S. If I can, that would be absolutely awesome. But we'll take it in small steps. So I'll put it in the air again with the timer at 2.5 minutes, and when we land, we'll see what we have, because I pushed it pretty hard there. Okay, let's get this F-86 Sabre jet back in the air again with 3S plus power. I'm going to give it full throttle on launch this time and see what we have. That was pretty iffy launch last time at 80% throttle, even though it's spinning the motor faster. 80% wasn't doing it. Alright, let's see if we can get it in the air. Launching. Better. Got some torque roll there. Look at that power, guys. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Whoa! What the heck happened there? Did you see that? It just abruptly dropped a wing. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. I thought it was going in the scrub. I surely did. I did. Maybe I turned too tight with it, because I know it doesn't like to turn tight. I did increase my timer to 2.5 minutes, but man, that was nearly on the ground. That's better, but man, you got to keep the speed up on it. It is definitely moving a lot faster than it was with the 3S. Awesome. I don't know if I slowed down too much coming out of the split S maneuver back there. Okay, time to bring it in. Ooh, that was a hard landing. I keep trying to slow it up coming in. One thing I did notice is that I moved the CG back about 2 or 3 more millimeters, and now I am able to bring the nose up a bit on it. I just slowed up a little bit too much there, but man, I don't know what was going on when it dropped that wing, but I was able to fly out of it, but just barely. But man, it really dipped that wing. I don't know if I just got too slow with it and it didn't have enough forward momentum. But wow, that was almost on the ground, wasn't it? And then I thought I was going to put it that piece of scrub right there. Just barely missed it. But man, that thing has got the power now. I am really enjoying the amount of power that it has. But you definitely can't slow down with it all that much. Not while you're doing maneuvers with it. If you're going straight and level, yeah. But not when you're in a turn, and not when you're performing maneuvers. So the second set of the loop and the split S maneuver, it behaved just fine. But I did keep the throttle up on it. You know, completing those maneuvers. So. Wow, I am really enjoying that power. Was that awesome? Did you see that vertical climb? Okay, let's get another flight on our F-86 Sabre jet with 3S plus power. Get over here next to the lane. Okay, let's see if we can get it in the air again. Launching. That was better. That thing sails now. I think I need a little more expo in my ailerons. They feel a little twitchy now that it's flying faster. I put a little more elevator in it too, just to have some in reserve. Man, does that thing have power now, guys. Now, in my opinion, this is the way. This is the way it should have flown to begin with. Look at that power. That is awesome. That moves pretty fast now. I am liking that a lot. Alright, make sure I don't have anybody coming. I'm starting to get my haptic. Certainly sounds faster now, doesn't it? That motor is definitely turning faster. Wow. Okay. Timer has elapsed. Well, I think I'm going to have to go around. I am coming in with some speed. Now, let's see if I can bring the nose up. Oh, crap. I wonder if I was out of battery. Let's see if I've got any damage. Well, it looks like I finally loosened up one of my landing skids. I'll have to fix that. I don't know what happened there. Let's bring it up here and see how much juice we have left in the battery. Surely I didn't deplete the entire battery. I mean, I know it was hitting it hard, but I figured coming in after that flight I'd still have 3.6 volts per cell. Well, I don't think it looks any worse than it did before. Make sure we're still working. Yeah. Let's see how much juice we have left in the pack. 3.69. I know it recovered a little bit after I walked back here, but yeah, I'm guessing I still had 3.6 volts in the pack even after hitting it really hard. The battery's a little warm, but not hot. So I guess I just slowed up too much with it coming in. You know, I thought I had plenty of speed when I made that turn there and was getting lined up, but apparently I didn't. So I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to make shorter approaches so I can see better what's going on with the jet. But man, I am absolutely loving the amount of power this thing has now, guys. That is awesome. That's the way I think this plane should have flown from the first outing with it. And that is now my 13th successful launch with this. And of course it's a little bit heavier with the 4S's than it was with the 3S's. And on launch, I think on that launch I had it at about 90 to 95% throttle, and it took right off. So with this power setup, yeah, 90 to 95% throttle, and then a good wingtip launch. So, well, it looks like my leading edges, my wings are still in good shape. So I will meet you back at the hangar and give you my final thoughts on this jet.
Okay, I muffed up one landing, one approach, and nearly hit the ground with it. But given all that, and I think looking at the video, looking at the flight footage, I think when I came out of the split S maneuver, I backed off the throttle too much, and then when I pulled up, it stalled it and dipped that wing. Like I said, it doesn't like to turn quickly. It doesn't like to turn very tightly, especially not at slow speed like that. So after I performed those maneuvers again at speed, I didn't have any problem. But I had a blast flying this today, even with, you know, my screw-ups. I bet you guys are wondering how in the heck my planes survive my constant abuse. But you know, when I set this system up, this 3S Plus power system for this, I figured I would get about another 10% performance out of it. I was pleasantly surprised the first time that I pulled vertical with it. I would say I'm getting at least 20%, maybe 25% more performance out of this jet now than I was getting just flying it on a 3S Lipo. I mean, this thing has got tons of power now. I think I only made one pass going by myself at close to full throttle. I don't think I ever made a pass by myself at full throttle, and the only time that I was really hitting full throttle was when I was going vertical with it. But you know, on that third, I think it was on the third flight where I pulled vertical, and I did a double vertical roll with it before I pulled through on the split S maneuver. I would never have attempted that on 3S because it would have stalled. It would have stalled as soon as I completed the second vertical roll with it, you know. So this, in my opinion, is the type of performance this plane should have had right out of the gate. So I wanted to give you my final thoughts on this plane. It's a Tinker jet, just like the Tinker planes that I've spoken about in the past. And so I don't recommend Tinker planes unless you like to tinker with them. You know, unless you're willing to do what I did for this plane, because this is going to be a blast flying going forward. This is the way I'm going to fly it now. It's going to have a 4S in it with a limited top range on the throttle. I refer to it as a 3S Plus power system. This plane is awesome performance on this 3S Plus power system. But everything is stock, all the electronics are stock on this plane, except you do need to cut the air inlets, even on the 3S. This requires an additional airflow to that EDF unit. These holes, these rectangles that I cut out of here are 20 millimeters tall by 44 millimeters wide. Hopefully the next time you see me out with it, I will have the louvers installed so it looks much, much better. This plane would have performed much better had I not nosed it in so frequently, trying to get it in the air on 3S power. I've now launched this successfully 13 consecutive times in a row, as long as you have enough power on launch. Whether it's a 3S or whether it's a 3S Plus power system. And the 3S Plus power system, about 90-95% throttle, makes it even easier to get into the air. But I had a blast flying this today. It's a very inexpensive jet. When I bought it, it was $99.99, $100. I checked the price on this again right before putting it in the air the first time, and it was $109.99 or $110. It's only $10 higher now than it was about 2 years ago when I bought it. This is definitely not a good jet for your first EDF jet. I wouldn't even recommend this as your second EDF jet. But if you're comfortable flying EDF jets and you want to get something that's very inexpensive like this, and cut these air inlet holes and fabricate some louvers for it, and use a 4S LiPo, limiting the top end at 70% on the throttle, this has awesome performance now. And I'm very happy with the way it's performing in the air now. And like I said, that's the way I'm going to fly it from now on. So it's a Tinker jet, and that's the only way that I would recommend it to anyone, is if you're willing to do what I did to get the performance up on this jet. But oh my gosh, man, it's got power now. And I'm definitely going to get as much flight time off of this 3S Plus system as I was getting with my 3S 1300 milliamp hour LiPos. And I think I stated that if you put some lower C, lightweight 1300 milliamp hour 4S LiPos in this jet, I think you'll end up getting a full 4 minutes of flight time out of it. That's pretty good performance for 4-minute flight time on an EDF jet from what I've seen of other EDF jets. So anyway, that's my final thoughts on it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.